24th.
Tomorrow when you lose.
Last year, the Indianapolis Colts lost 13 times, and rookie quarterback Peyton Manning got battered and bruised. This season, the Colts have been victorious 13 times, taking the AFC East Division crown and made their way back to the playoffs for only the third time since 1987. Now they stand just one match from the conference championship game. In the way are the best wild card team ever, who won in the most exhilarating way just a week ago.
Christie kicks it high and short. Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25.
Yeah,
pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50.
He's got it.
40,
He's got it.
20, 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle. A miracle for the Titans.
Welcome along to our NFL Game of the Week. It's the divisional playoffs. It's like the quarterfinals, if you like. And that, what you just saw there, was the icing on the cake on what a weekend, Mike. What a weekend that
It was a great play. I have to say, I wanted Buffalo to win. I picked them for the upset. I thought it was all set, and it was a great play. I love razzle-dazzle. I would have hated to see it called back, but what a horrible way for the Bills to lose.
Not nice. They probably still haven't recovered yet. There's probably a lot of them still think they're going.
It'll be next year they won't have recovered.
They've got to pull themselves around for that one. But we set ourselves up nicely for last weekend, and this weekend was just as good. It's not letting itself down at all.
All four matchups this weekend, we said last week coming in, you could draw a scenario for any of the four to be upsets, and as it turned out, that wasn't quite the case, and in fact, there were a couple of big surprises.
That's right. Our game of the week, of course, is going to be the last one of this lot, but here are the results from the previous three. Wow.
And I think the biggest surprise of all was the first one of the weekend. Miami came off that big win against Seattle and got trounced by Jacksonville, 62-7. Washington came very, very close to beating Tampa Bay. They led 13-0, but lost 14-13. And then earlier today, Minnesota led at halftime, but St. Louis Rams came back and then held on. With a big lead, they held on to win 49-37 over Minnesota.
Yeah, incredible stuff there. We have to look back at that first result there. We'll chat about it later on because, of course, at half-time we're actually going to see some of the action on the field, but it's subsequent off the field that it's all gone off, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, Jimmy Johnson has resigned as the coach of the Dolphins. Now, you remember last year they lost 38-3 in the playoffs to Denver, and Jimmy resigned, and then they talked him back, back into coaching. But I think this time it's for real, because last year they talked him back and they let him hire Dave Wanstead, who was his old defensive coordinator in Dallas and had just been fired by the Bears. He brought in Wanstead as the associate head coach, and now Wanstead has already been appointed as head coach of the Dolphins. So I think this move is for real, and Jimmy Johnson is retired. I would imagine he's going to be in an announce booth next year if he wants to. He was being very friendly to the media all through the playoffs.
Yeah,
so he was the guy being interviewed on camera.
Although, of course, he's a very emotional man, isn't he? I mean, that would have been his natural reaction to this result. But what's he said? Is it the whole season?
He did not look happy all season. No. We did them enough times to look, and on the sidelines, he was always looked like he was being tense, and and everything just seemed to go out of him in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. And there's also a thrilling game as well that we're looking at. So that particular one, plus also the other games as well. At half-time, we'll be bringing all the highlights of that one. But to set you up nicely for our main game of the week, which, of course, you'll see all of the action from in just a few minutes' time, why not look back to last weekend? Let's give you some of the highlights from the action. Well, it was wildcard weekend.
Yeah!
Titanic bomb is about to explode, baby.
From Adelphia Coliseum, Nashville, Tennessee, today, where the 12-team NFL postseason tournament begins. The Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans.
They ain't ready. They can't be ready because they ain't never faced nothing like it before.
But the Titans were ready to have a good time.
1, 2, 3, have on!
Quarterback Rob Johnson started in place of a healthy Doug Flutie, and early on had the team second-guessing the decision.
Drops, he's in trouble. Lash has got him in the end zone.
The safety gave the Titans 2 points, but Steve McNair's touchdown run increased their lead to 9. Bills running back Antoine Smith answered with a pair of touchdown runs to put the Bills ahead 13-12.
He dances in for the touchdown.
With under 20 seconds to play, Buffalo seemingly put the game away with a 41-yard field goal.
The kick on the way, long enough, and it is good. The Bills have taken the lead. Yes.
But the Titans had one more trick up their sleeves.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them? Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson. He's got something. 20, he's got something. 50. He's got it. He's got it. 20. 10. He's got it. End zone. Touchdown Titans. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle. A miracle for the Titans.
It's being called the Music City Miracle, but was the play legal? Players can lateral the ball to each other as long as the pass does not go forward. The call was correct, and the Titans turned in one of the most stunning finishes in NFL history.
Nobody comes into our house and pushes us around.
That was sweet now. That was the dangest thing I ever saw. But you know what? You know what that is? That's just you guys never giving up. Congratulations.
Former NFL Europe quarterback John Kitna made his NFL playoff debut against the Dolphins. In 1997, Kitna led the Barcelona Dragons to a World Bowl victory, and against Miami looked to notch his first postseason win in the NFL. Kitna's touchdown pass to Sean Dawkins gave the Seahawks a 7-0 lead.
Touchdown, Seattle!
The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game on the road since 1972. Dan Marino looked to end this drought as his touchdown pass tied the score at 10. But on the ensuing kickoff, Seattle answered right back with an 85-yard return.
Runs ahead to the 20, up the sidelines to the 30, to the 40, deep by the kicker. He's going to go all the way! Touchdown, Seattle!
In his 17th NFL season, Dan Marino guided Miami to his 37th fourth-quarter comeback.
All right! Touchdown, Miami!
Miami's defense sacked John Kitna 6 times, and in the second half, limited Seattle to 32 total yards. Clinging to a 3-point lead, Terrell Buckley's interception sealed the win.
Game is over. Jacksonville, here we come.
The clock struck midnight for the Cinderella Seahawks, while the Dolphins advanced to take on the Jaguars.
Hey, we told you we was going to do it, baby. On the road, baby. On the road. That's how you play. Offense, defense, special teams. If you come, Jacksonville, here we go. Next week, we're going to play even harder, baby.
NFC East Championship, #1 Redskins. They bringing it to the Chief, cuz. Bring it to the Chief. Bring it to the Chief.
You know I want to.
Playoffs right here, baby. Don't get no better than this.
Woo! A little louder, there we go.
It don't get no better.
Woo! Woo!
It was wild card weekend in Washington, D.C., where the Lions have lost 19 straight, but in the playoffs, teams pay no mind to the pass. To fend off a frenzied pass rush, Washington turned to running back Stephen Davis, who scored twice in the first quarter.
Here goes Davis, tripped up and still bounds in. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. Stephen Davis with his second of the day.
I want to hit that Atlanta. Y'all anybody give me a ride?
thinking ahead to the Super Bowl, quarterback Brad Johnson put the Redskins ahead 27-0.
Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
The Lions finally scored when a Detroit defender blocked a field goal try with his hand.
And there's a block kick fielded by Rice running left. He's going to go.
Detroit scored twice in the second half, but Washington held off the Lions and held their reservation for tickets to Tampa Bay.
And let me tell you something. Defensively, that's a hell of a game. It's a hell of a game. It's a hell of a job. Everyone lined up on defense. That's a hell of a job. It's a hell of a job. It's a start, huh, man?
In the NFC, the high-flying Vikings have emerged as a serious contender. But Minnesota was up against the NFL's all-time leading playoff rusher, the Dallas Cowboys' Emmitt Smith, and an early 7-point deficit.
Pitch right to Smith. A couple of blocks, touch it up, touch to the left, goal line, touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
The Vikings' offensive line took control behind center Jeff Christie. Viking blockers were blasting holes for running back Robert Smith.
Players it off, caught by Robert Smith at the 15, down the sideline. 10, yes, sir! Touchdown, Vikings! What a move by Robert Smith!
With the game tied at 10, Jeff George dialed up number 84, Randy Moss.
Now throws it deep to Moss. It is caught! Touchdown!
Moss's 58-yard score put the Vikings ahead for good and sent a long-distance dedication to St. Louis.
It's for real! It's for real! Three-step fires. Carter! Touchdown! Touchdown, Vikings!
We got 3 more to go, baby. That's just the first one. We can't celebrate too hard. We got to get to the bowl.
You know that.
We got to get to the bowl. We get to the bowl, then we're going to celebrate. Right now, we're staying calm.
I think of the general idea of just how important it is to all of these teams out there. That was what happened last weekend. We've seen what's happened this weekend, except what we've got for you now is the whole of the action from an absolute storm. The Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. All that game coming out for you after the break.
Or 60,000 miles servicing, parts and labor, and AA cover. All thrown in for nothing? That'll be the day of...
Not Dad. Banana. Dad. Showerhead.
Aladdin the ride back home.
Dad. Bone. What's got into him today?
E.T. thinks you need to phone Grandad.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Oh, hi, love. You were lucky to catch me. I was just about to shin up the ladder into the loft.
Dad, that ladder's over 15 feet long. I'll get Jack to come over.
Funny how there's always a good reason to phone for no reason. Stay in touch.
Call Chatterbox now on 09066 18 18 18. That's 09066 18 18 18. Call Chatterbox now.
McDonald's! They're at it again!
With their incredible 49p hamburger sale, you can choose to buy now and eat later.
Hamburgers, cheeseburgers, they're offering something for the whole family. And there's only one kind of credit you'll find in this store.
It's great. It's just what I really wanted. 59p. You've got to hand it to them.
Just how do they do it for that price?
So there you have it.
The McDonald's January sale. At Croydon, Sidcup, New Malden, Wimbledon, Milton.
With oranges and clementines from Spain, you'll feel brand new every day.
Today's the most boring day I've had today. I crumbled, I had a fag. And the other thing that didn't help was the kids. I don't know where to put my patches, and I needed that this morning. I needed the patches.
Call 0800 169 0169.
Call the live one-to-one girls now on 09066 400 800. That's 09066 400 800.
Daewoo admits price fixing. We're proud to admit our prices are fixed up to 30% lower than competitors' models with the same specification.
Our game of the week is the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be an absolute stormer because, Mike, these two teams come in. You couldn't be more evenly matched if they tried, if you look at their records, because you're coming to this one.
13-3, both of them. Indianapolis won probably the toughest division in football, so they've got a good pedigree behind them. They're a very explosive offensive team with three real big stars in Edgerrin James, Peyton Manning, and Marvin Harrison. Defensively, not a typical Jim Mora defensive team. They don't attack quite so much. They play a little bit more control kind of a defense with a veteran defense, but not the aggressive kind of defense Tennessee has. They're a defensive-minded team with lots of speed on defense. They'll attack you. Javon Curse, who had such a good game against Buffalo, Tariq Glenn and Adam Meadows, the two tackles, are probably sitting there sort of thinking, oh my God, it's Javon Curse. Tennessee's offense has fizzled after they scored. Steve McNair threw 5 touchdown passes against Jacksonville and has looked just awful throwing the ball since. But Eddie George is a good running back, big guy with a lot of power, and I think McNair is probably a better runner than George is. So if they keep it on the ground and they can control the ball, Tennessee's in with a shot.
Yes, it is. It's intriguing stuff, and it is, in fact, to play Jacksonville in the conference final that these two teams are now going head-to-head. This is our game, then. It is the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. Let's go over to the game now, and your commentary team of Phil Simms and Greg Gumbel.
56,127 is capacity here at the RCA Dome. It sounds like twice that here today. Let's check in on the sidelines with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. I'm with Jeff Fisher, head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Jeff, last week you really were talking about a low-scoring struggle with Buffalo. How do you envision today's game?
Well, this game's going to come down to blocking and tackling, and probably the team that's able to protect the football and not turn it over is going to have the best chance to win. I'm excited for our players. They had a great week. They're ready to play. We understand the challenges that our defense is going to face with their offense, and our offense is going to have to move the ball and score some points.
All right, good luck. Greg, back to you.
All right, Armin. Fourth and final game of this weekend's action. And if we get half the points some of these other games have gotten, we'll be happy, Phil. Ready to kick it away for the Tennessee Titans is Al Del Greco. Number 80, Terrence Wilkins, will take the kick from the 2. Trying to get outside, penalty marker flies, 30, 35, another marker as he crosses the 40-yard line, and Damon Sidney makes the tackle. Johnny Greer is our referee today. Holding against the Colts will bring this one way back.
Holding number 27 during the return.
The holding call is on Thomas Randolph. There's a look at Jim Mora, 0-4 in the postseason, and he will send Peyton Manning and his offense onto the field.
Peyton Manning told us he's glad the wait is over. 2 weeks, he says, you can only watch so much film and go through all the what-ifs. So he's ready for action.
From the 11-yard line. Play clock down to 1, and Manning will throw. Under pressure, throws down the far sideline. Incomplete, almost completed to E.G. Green. And a marker down on the far side of the field.
Pass interference, number 21, defense. First down.
The call goes against the Titans' outstanding cornerback, Samari Roll.
Samari Roll did not see the ball thrown to the inside. E.G. Green, anytime a defensive back doesn't turn around, gives the offensive player a great advantage of attacking the football. And you could see what happened. Samari Roll got that left arm grab before the ball got there.
Ball is advanced all the way to the 37-yard line. Edgerrin James back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. A look at the Colts offense. Tackle to tackle, Tarek Glenn, Steve McKinney, Larry Moore, Waverly Jackson, and Adam Meadows. Edgerrin James, Marcus Pollard is the H-back, Marvin Harrison, E.G. Green are the wide receivers, and Ken Dilger is the tight end.
Greg, we said both teams are going to be aggressive. The very first play of the game, the Indianapolis Colts go down the field, and what happens? The Tennessee Titans, they came with the blitz. Here they come again.
Manning throws. That ball is incomplete and almost intercepted. The intended receiver, Marvin Harrison, number 88.
Well, Jeff Fisher, the one thing he said, we are not going to come back and sit back and wait. We are going to attack.
Tennessee's defense, Javon Curse, Josh Evans, Jason Fisk, and Kenny Holmes. Robinson, Wortham, and Joe Bowden are the linebackers. Kennard, Walker, Samari Roll are the corners. Marcus Robertson, Blaine Bishop are the safeties. 3rd and 10, 4 wide receivers for Manning and the Colts. Throw is complete, but that'll be well short of a first down. The pass completed to Terrence Wilkins. So the Titans survive the pass interference call, and they'll get their hands on the football for the first time.
Well, Greg, anytime you're a visiting team coming in here, playing the team that's had the week off, that's got all the emotion, the adrenaline on their side, if you stop them, that first series, which they've done, that's a big lift for your football team.
Number 85, Derek Mason, is the lone Titan. He's standing at about his own 9 to receive the kick from Hunter Smith. Fair catch called for and made at the 7-yard line. When we come back, Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans will take their first turn on offense. The RCA Dome here in Indianapolis, alive and kicking, and Steve McNair will have to deal with that noise as he takes the offense onto the field. You look at his numbers, missed 5 weeks with back surgery this season. Came back strong, and a much better performer at home than on the road. Eddie George, close to the 10. Chad Cota came up from the safety position to help with the stop. The Tennessee offense looks like this up front. Brad Hopkins, the great Bruce Matthews, Kevin Long, Benji Olson, and John Runyon. Eddie George and Lorenzo Neal in the backfield. Yancey Thigpen and Kevin Dyson are the wide receivers, and Frank Wycheck, the tight end. Time to play fake to George. He eludes the rush, throws down the field. It is incomplete, out of bounds, intended for Chris Sanders. A look at the Colts starting defensive lineup. Mark Thomas, Bernard Whittington, Ellis Johnson, and Chad Bratsky. Cornelius Bennett out. Burt Berry starts in his place. Michael Barber and the rookie Mike Peterson. In the secondary, Jeff Burris and Tyrone Poole are the corners. Jason Felser and Chad Cota, the safeties. Defensive coordinator Vic Fangio will watch his troops take on the Titans on 3rd and 8. McNair flips it out to George, who can't hold on. It's incomplete, and there's a penalty marker down in the secondary.
Delay a game. The play clock went down to 0. The crowd noise affected the offense of the Titans.
Prior to the snap, delay, offense.
The Tennessee Titans know the crowd noise. Jeff Fisher says, I know it's going to be a problem. There won't be much checking off. But that time they changed the play. And when Steve McNair stands up and shakes this little finger on both hands at everybody, that lets them know, I'm changing the play. Be alert.
The Titans need the 18-yard line for a first down. Eddie George, right side, and not much there at all, and Tennessee will have to kick.
Well, you can see this Colts defense is fired up when they're going to stop the run, because that's all they've heard about for 2 weeks. Can you stop the run? And up front, Ellis Johnson, the defensive lineman, it starts with them. They've got to hold up inside, and that time, good job. Ellis Johnson holds on, makes the tackle.
Craig Hentrick, 7th-year man out of Notre Dame, will kick out of his own end zone. Terrence Wilkins from the 35. And is dropped by Anthony Dorsett. You might remember his dad, Tony, number 33 for the Dallas Cowboys, makes the big special teams play. Pretty nice day here in Indianapolis, and today's aerial coverage provided by Southwest Airlines. Second offensive possession for the Indianapolis Colts. They have the ball first down at their own 35-yard line. James back to the line of scrimmage, and maybe a yard. Darren Wortham came up to make the stop.
Well, I think the thing we heard from all the Colts this week, what they did with their week off. Think about Edgerrin James. Came out of the University of Miami last year, plays a little bit in the preseason, plays the whole year, so productive. Do you think he used that week off to get a little rest? Jim Moore, Peyton Manning, they all said he looks quicker, he looks fresh, should be more productive because of that.
James again, left side this time, out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, when you watch this Colts offense, Peyton Manning, of course, he heard so much about the pass rush of the Tennessee Titans. There's Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator. Peyton Manning says, I know how we take care of that pass rush. We got to run it up in there and be productive, running the football inside, because that's where Tennessee is going to make him run it. Inside. Don't let Edgerrin James get outside on the running plays.
Manning from the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Manning throws this side, complete, and that'll be enough for a first down. Marvin Harrison is finally wrestled down, but his forward progress has enough for the first down.
Well, what happens to most rookie running backs in the National Football League? It takes them a while to get in the lineup because they can't protect their quarterback well enough. Watch Blaine Bishop coming. Watch Edgerrin James just, bam, stands him right up, gives Peyton Manning that extra second. Look at the throwing lane he gets now. Marvin Harrison, you've got to respect the speed. He gets open.
Peyton Manning said he was looking forward to being able to throw a few hitch passes today once the cornerbacks stay off their receivers.
So he says in the AFC East, every defense lines their corners right up against your receivers so you can't throw those short passes. Today he's hoping to throw a few of them.
From the 49-yard line. The fake of the handoff, throwing, far side, complete, first down and more, turns Wilkins. And a loose football. It doesn't appear that it's going to be given to the Tennessee Titans. Dane and Sidney came up with it, but after the ball was ruled down. That's a 14-yard pickup.
I could not see from here. I couldn't see if the official pointed it down. Let's watch play action fake. Single coverage on the backside.
Completed to Indianapolis. The ball was fumbled. The defensive player touched the ball while out of bounds. We have a first down, Indianapolis.
Just as Johnny Greer explained it, you saw how it happened.
Let's watch Terrence Wilkins. The ball's out of bounds. Marcus Robinson touches it while he's out of bounds. Good call.
So a break for the Colts, a first down. Their 37-yard line of the Titans. Edgerrin James cuts it back, 30. Almost to the 25-yard line before Marcus Robertson drags him down. That's another Colts first down.
When you play the Indianapolis Colts, you can talk about you want to be aggressive. That means you want to play the receivers aggressive. What happens because of the play-action passes? Look how long it took Marcus Robinson, a safety, to come up and make the tackle. Why? Because he has to stay back there and make sure it's not going to be a play-action pass behind him for a touchdown. So it takes him a while to get to the running back.
The sixth play of this drive. Manning, quick drop, going to go deep, and overthrows Marvin Harrison down the near sideline. Might have seen before the snap the little hand signal by Peyton Manning.
Greg, that's what I was going to talk about. Now, we've done about 3 or 4 games. We've watched a lot of practices of the Indianapolis Colts. Watch Peyton Manning this time. Little pump action. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's live, if it's a dummy call or what, because he does it so much. A defense, coaches, hey, the Indianapolis Colts, they don't even know if it's real. The coaches on the sideline, they just wait to see what happens between Peyton Manning and his wide receivers.
Second and 10, James up the middle to about the 28. And Blaine Bishop comes up with the stop. Blaine Bishop from Cathedral High School here in Indianapolis.
Got a few tickets for some friends today. How many say?
About 31.
31. He got off cheap. You grow up in this area, you expect at least 50 friends to come and watch you play.
Well, you get the better you get in the NFL, the more friends you have.
But Blaine Bishop, what a tough job he has today. Let's see, Blaine. Tackle Edgerrin James on the runs and don't get fooled by any play action passes.
Manning out of the shotgun on 3rd and 8. Throws it down the middle. It is incomplete. Thrown behind Edgerrin James, and Marcus Robertson had a hand on it.
Well, that was a case in point. Edgerrin James reading the defense one way. He thought it was supposed to take him to the middle. Peyton Manning says, no, you're supposed to stay up the seam. And we've seen twice already, because Peyton Manning likes to anticipate the throws. We've seen the ball touch the defensive player's hands twice. Jeff Fisher says we'll have at least 4 chances to intercept passes.
The NFL's leading scorer on the regular season, Mike Vanderjagt, with 145 points. We'll try this one from 40 yards out. And that'll be good with plenty to spare. 7 minutes, 13 seconds remain here in the first quarter. Indianapolis draws first blood. Colts get on the board first with a 9-play, 42-yard drive, culminating in the Vanderjagt field goal in a 3-0 lead. Derek Mason deep to receive the kick. A couple of yards into the end zone, and Mason will not run it out. So Tennessee will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. You're watching the NFL on 5, and among you lot out there watching are 30,000 people, well over 30,000 people, in fact, sweating on a dream trip of a lifetime. That's right, our Super Bowl draw is coming up at half-time. Good luck to you.
Yes. Greg, as we get going, you look at this Indianapolis defense, you hear so much about it. They can't stop the run. You talk to coaches when they play them. Well, they don't cover the pass real well. The one thing they made clear to us this week, they are not going to lose this game letting Eddie George run the football. Steve McNair is going to have to win it for him.
Eddie George. Cole up the middle. 30, 35-yard line. It'll be a first down for Tennessee. Chad Cota made the stop. That's 15 yards.
The one thing Tennessee loves to do on offense, they like draw plays and screen plays. This time it looked like pass. No attacking by the Colt defense. You saw the hole, the good blocking inside by the Tennessee offensive lineman. Good job of blocking by Kevin Long, the center.
Eddie George racked up 106 tough yards rushing against Buffalo last weekend. McNair throws incomplete, intended for his tight end, Frank Wycheck. We talked with Steve McNair and talked with him. He said, you know, we've talked all week, Phil, about the nervousness of the playoffs as we check a penalty marker. But, Steve, we said, well, how long did it take you to get over the nervousness against Buffalo? He said he was nervous the whole game.
Never got over it. And Greg, when I looked at him and we were talking, I thought it was interesting he said that, but I understood why. Against the Buffalo Bills, well, let's listen to Johnny Greer's call first.
Pass interference, number 88, offense. Still first
That's
down.
the other tight end, Jackie Harris.
But against the Buffalo Bills, Steve McNair never had a chance to make a play. He never broke the pocket and scrambled for 15 or 20 yards. He never threw the football down the field to get himself, to feel good about himself, to get loose. That's how a quarterback gets loose. They need some positive reinforcement. He didn't get it last week. You know, Jeff Fisher told us he would make sure Steve McNair got off to a good start to get him in the flow of the game.
It's a 1st and 20 for the Titans. George picks his way through the left side out to the 30, maybe the 31-yard line. Another thing about Steve McNair, and boy, could Jeff Fisher have been more outspoken about this? He says he's simply one of the toughest football players he's ever been around.
One of the toughest he's ever been around. Les Steckel, the offensive coordinator. Now, Steve McNair has this injury called a turf toe, and you think, well, there's Les Steckel, the offensive coordinator. His right toe is twice the size that it normally should be. He doesn't complain. He just goes out there and does his job.
Players to the right side. George sidesteps a tackler, falls forward across the 35 to about the 37-yard line.
Well, this is one thing I think the Tennessee Titans do very well. You heard me say they love draws and screens, catch the defense off guard, but also they do a good job of just getting the ball into the hands of their playmakers, guys like Eddie George, Frank Wycheck. And what they've got to do, they've got to find a way to get number 82 into the game, Yancey Thigpen, by far their best wide receiver.
8 yards for a first down if Tennessee wants to hold on to the football. Blitz. McNair gets rid of it, complete, and Eddie George across the 40 to the 43-yard line. He's still a couple of yards shy of a first down.
Greg, I've said so many times, blitzing, it's all about timing. And number 47, Billy Austin, comes right from the middle. Watch him come in your screen. There he is. Times the snap of the ball perfectly. Look at that. Nobody lays a hand on him. The Titans are lucky they just had a screenplay on.
So number 80, Terrence Wilkins, standing at his own 12-yard line. Wilkins has a 39-yard punt return for a touchdown this season, as well as a 97-yard kickoff return. Lets it bounce at the goal line, and it goes into the end zone. Titans came close to downing the football. They come up short. The clock is stopped with 4:01 to play in the first quarter. It's the Colts by 3. Back in Indianapolis, Peyton Manning takes the Colts out of the offensive huddle. First down. Edgerrin James and Paul Shields in the backfield with it. James trying to sidestep a tackler and can't do it, and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
You know, as I watch this game, Greg, so far, Tennessee Titans being very aggressive with the wide receivers of the Indianapolis Colts. When I talked to Tom Moore about that, Tom Moore says, we just got to have patience. He's the offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, because if you're going to play us man-to-man coverage, sooner or later, my guys are going to outrun yours, and we're going to make big plays. We just can't get impatient and try too much.
James 6 carries already for 20 yards. Here comes Blaine Bishop on the blitz again. Jumps up, can't make the play, but you know who does? Denard Walker on the near side of the field, and it's incomplete.
Well, Greg, that's the play you were talking about. Peyton Manning came into our meeting, and he says, I am so excited because I'm going to get to throw what they call a hitch. A hitch is when the quarterback takes 3 steps, the wide receiver runs about 5 or 6 yards down the field, he turns and you throw it to him. Well, all that excitement, it's not that good, is it?
Maybe it may be down the drain now. Colts just 1 out of 3 on 3rd down, looking at a 3rd and 10. To the far side, and James can't hold on to it. It's incomplete, and the Colts will have to kick it away.
Nice disguise, nice blitz by the Tennessee Titans. Again, 3 down linemen. They blitz from somebody from the outside, not picked up. Manning has to get rid of the football.
Phil, how many times did we see Edgerrin James out here warming up, making one-handed catches of passes?
Yeah, he does. But you know what, Greg? They got these guys on the other side now that want to hit you, so it makes it a little harder, but he does have excellent hands.
Derek Mason at his own 30-yard line for the kick. Inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. And for a bad kick, that's a pretty good punt. 57 yards and no return. Hey, guess what, Phil? You can test your Super Bowl knowledge and answer trivia questions about the big game. Just log on to superbowl.com.
I'm good at trivia. Ask me anything you want about Super Bowl 21 and 25, and I'll tell you. True, that's right, true. There's Cornelius Bennett giving some encouragement, and a lot of talk about him this week. Linebacker, he's out with a knee injury, and does the team miss him? Absolutely. You always miss good players. And Cornelius Bennett, you hear about his leadership, all those qualities, they're true, but what they really miss is the linebacker can go on that field and make plays.
114 tackles during the regular season. Quick pass by McNair, far side. And Yancey Thigpen is out of bounds, close to the 30-yard line.
Well, I was just getting ready to say, when are they going to find a way to get Yancey Thigpen into this game? And that's one way to do it with a screenplay. As you watch at home, they are daring, the Indianapolis defense is daring Tennessee to throw it down the field. You see the strength, nice straight arm. Man coverage on the outside, no help. Everybody's inside trying to stop the run.
On 2nd and 3. Blitz. Near side, the pass bounced into the air and falls incomplete. Thigpen, the intended receiver, and Tyrone Poole is with him.
See, I look at a play like that. I know it's Yancey Thigpen. Tyrone Poole, excellent coverage, looks for the football, then almost makes the play on it. But I look to the other side. There's Kevin Dyson. Nobody covering him, way off. And they said they wanted to attack Jeff Burris, number 20. So why throw it Poole? You should have gone to the other side.
Tennessee is yet to convert a first down today. McNair with time, and now he runs out of it. Throws complete out to the 35. And that'll be enough for a first down, and that's Thigpen. Nice pass by Steve McNair. Remember what he told us the other day? The thing about Steve McNair throwing to you, the ball gets there in a hurry.
It gets there quick. And what's really important here, watch Steve McNair in the pocket. Here comes Mark Thomas. Has a chance to get him, but can't bring him down. Let's see if it's a catch here.
Oh, it may not be.
It may not be. The point of that football hit the ground.
And you know,
personal foul, face mask, number 20 of the defense, after the catch, will penalize 15 yards, first down.
No, I wouldn't be surprised to see this challenged. In fact, Jim Mora just did that because Vic Fangio is sitting in the booth next to us. You could hear him yelling as soon as he saw the replay.
Well, I hear some yelling going on your right, Greg, from the coaches. But the problem is he's got to explain if it's incomplete, you still have a personal foul. And I think Johnny Greer's letting him know that.
Indianapolis has challenged the ruling on the field that the pass was complete.
Let's watch these. I was so busy watching the pass completion, I didn't even see the face mask. But watch what happens. Yancey Thigpen. Ball comes down.
So the fans are obviously in favor of it.
Ball slipping out. The nose of the ball definitely hit the ground. He does not have complete control of it.
So Johnny Greer has gone to watch television for a little while.
Yes. I was going to say, though, when we saw Mark Thomas going in the backfield and trying to sack Steve McNair, we hear so many. We heard it from the Colt players and the Titan players. This is not a quarterback. This is a running back. He is a big, solid, tough quarterback. Hard to bring down with arm tackles. Let's look at it one more time. Well, Greg Gumbel, what do you think?
Oh, that's an incomplete pass.
Okay. That might be good. You might get one right here.
You know, talking about the size of Steve McNair, we were talking with O'Neal Griffin, the linebacker coach for Tennessee, and he says, Steve McNair and Eddie George, they're bigger than all my linebackers.
Yeah, Tennessee does have a few.
After reviewing the play, the pass was incomplete. The personal foul will still be enforced from the 30-yard line, and it's Indianapolis ball, first down from the 45.
But the first down comes from the personal foul. Here's the incompletion.
You know, Greg, this is a good challenge by Jim Moore because the coaches up here, they saw it, they knew it, so they gained those yards. Let's watch the personal foul. Oh, Jeff Burris full on the pass route by Chris Sanders. So he sticks that hand out, catches some face mask.
I guess the coach has to ask himself, is the yardage worth the timeout that he would risk? But no, he doesn't get the timeout because it's incomplete.
I think Jim Moore was sure after he heard his assistant coaches that he would gain 8 yards back, and yes, that's important. Challenge anytime you can gain yards.
McNair, deep drop, throws, far side, has a man, that's complete. Kevin Dyson is out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and it's a first down.
Well, that's one thing that Tennessee knows they're going to get in this game. They're going to get single coverage outside because everybody's inside trying to take care of Eddie George. And when we watched Tennessee practice this week, they threw this pattern, the play action fake, what you would call a deep comeback on the outside, many times because of these situations, and it worked that time.
Kevin Dyson. What was he called? The media darling this week from his winning touchdown run against Buffalo Bills. Eddie George straight ahead for a couple to about the 38-yard line. Belzer and the rookie Mike Peterson with the stop.
Now see, Steve McNair did a good job shaking off the rush on the third down play. But that last play, that long throw for the first down to Kevin Dyson, that should really get him into the flow of game, make him feel better as a quarterback, knowing now that he can look down the field, see what's happening, and try to make plays.
coming up on 1:10 to play here in the first quarter. McNair throws wide open on the far side, Wycheck. And Wycheck met by a bunch of Colts at the 32-yard line, led by Jeff Burris.
Well, Frank Wycheck, when we were down there again, Greg, on Thursday, I never thought he'd even play in this game. He could barely walk around. Tight end position, everybody running deep, trying to cover Yancey Thigpen. Boy, Jeff Fisher says this guy is the fastest healer I've ever seen in the National Football League.
Here comes the crowd. McNair on the run, diving for the first down. He didn't get there. Bernard Whittington, Mark Thomas, Michael Barber all converging on him short of first down yardage. And time has run down on us here in the first quarter. We've played 15 minutes, and we're coming back for more. 3-0 Colts, Titans on the move.
And so it's a one field goal game. That's about right, Mike, isn't it? I mean, this is tight as that,
It's
isn't it?
interesting because these are two teams that are playing with each other right now. And obviously Indianapolis watched the way Buffalo defends Tennessee, and they're daring Tennessee to throw on them. And what Tennessee's doing this week that they didn't do last week is throwing to the wide receivers. And, you know, when you've got somebody like Yancey Thigpen, who's a proven game breaker, you've got to get the ball to him, and they're trying to do that. So that's a positive for Tennessee. And on the other side, Indianapolis's offense is misfiring more than we'd expect, and you really never expect to see Edgerrin James drop a pass. You know, Peyton Manning's under pressure, but he's not throwing bad balls. But you know, to see one get dropped is unusual for the Colts.
That's the playoffs for you, though, isn't it? Eh?
Strange things happen. It's been a strange season. It's been a stranger playoffs.
Actually, it's the truth. So it's just 3 points in this game. It is very, very tight indeed. Second quarter coming up after the break.
Call Chatterbox now on 09066 18 18 18. That's 09066 18 18 18. Call Chatterbox now.
Because different people may benefit from different vitamins and minerals, Boots are offering any 3 packs for the price of 2 on a selected range. And because we're concerned with your wealth as well as your health, it's the most expensive pack that's free.
Today's the most boring day I've had today. I crumbled, I had a fag. And the other thing that didn't help was the kids. I don't know where to put my patches, and I needed that this morning. I needed the patches.
Call 0800 169 0169.
There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes.
Call the live one-to-one girls now on 09066 400 800. That's 09066 400 800.